Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Alright, you guys. Here's my hybrid helmet. I got it all taken apart. I had a crack along the side. Right here I had to repair, and I ended up just
Luke, I am your father.
Here's another really big project I was finally able to complete. And I'm not kidding when I said this thing's been down for about a month. And it was this power switch. It gave up on me. And I ended up, I guess I got angry about it. Not thinking straight. Thinking I'd just replace it. And so I ended up, I guess, tossing it really. Not slamming it around or nothing, but tossing it. And I don't know, about 5 or 6 of these little things around the edges, little plastic spots broke. And I found them all. Got them all super glued. I'm not kidding when it says it took a week and a half, 10 days to get a soldering iron. The soldering iron turned out to be a really bad soldering iron. This is the soldering iron kit I got. It was about $9 or $10. It's supposed to be a 60-watt soldering iron. It's got a little dial on there that goes from about 210 to 440 on the temperature. It gets hot enough to melt the solder, but it doesn't get hot enough to get whatever you're touching hot enough to melt the solder. And I think the solder that comes with is pretty crummy solder too. It's got a wick and a little solder sucker and a bunch of tips, and I thought, for $9, 60 watts, if it does the job, it does the job, but it really doesn't. I can melt solder and kind of weld, things if I'm desperate, but it really doesn't do soldering. Avoid that right there. And the final tragedy with that soldering iron is this thing here ended up having some issues, my little light strip, and it was just a little messed up connection right there that had wore out. And again, because I couldn't get it hot enough to melt the solder on it right, what they call, I guess, tinning, I could never get anything to just work right. So I'm completely short of light strip right now because of this stupid soldering iron. But I was able to still build a little coupling on there to fix it up about a week ago, which is about a week after the soldering iron came, which is about a week after I broke the keyboard because I procrastinated on buying a new one, and I realized, well, I need to just go get tools and fix it if I can. But within that 3 or 4 week period, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, like 16 screws on the bottom of this thing. And I was only able to recover 5. I imagine maybe some of them fell out in there. And I remember a few weeks ago, actually, pretty much cleaned that thing out top to bottom, reorganized it, even though it got a little more cluttered out. But I swept it all out, got all the junk out of it and cleaned it down to bare bottom. So if the screws are in there, they'll be easier to find if I were to just, again, take everything back out and put it back in. But I'm not even sure if I'm going to find one, because I did find one screw up underneath the forgive the mess. I'm doing this little setup here because I'm letting the birds hang out over here, and this is kind of catching the poop, and I can just, as you can see, I got kind of layers of cardboard I can just peel off one at a time, and I'm collecting cardboard now to, cut out, put on that. It's actually turning out to be a pretty good solution. But anyway, yeah, I found a screw up under there one day, so, you know what I'm saying, I'm not totally confident screws are in there. So once I got that soldered and got those super glued earlier this week, now I had to find them screws. Oh, and if I could even find them, who knows. Well, I was getting ready to be moving out here soon, so I'm starting to go through the shed and stuff, and I found this keyboard here out there, and it's I was like, man, and I saw this a long time ago, and I was like, man, I ought to say this, got a little touchpad, a little mini, work great for a tablet like this. But then I realized, it's, there's no battery in it, but it looks like maybe 5-pin USB. I can wire it up and all that. But at this point in life, man, I'll never get around to it. And if I do, screw it. This thing's probably worth like 10 or 15 bucks nowadays, even though I will make a couple of disagreements here. But anyway, you wouldn't believe it. The screws are just a little shorter and a little coarser thread, but man, if it didn't give me everything but those 5 I had, reattached it perfect. Now this is just works like brand new, except the power switch, and who knows, I might put a little toggle switch on the side, on the side or something one day. If not, I can always just, pop a battery out, which I left it on all the time anyway. As long as I'm not actually worried about bumping it, there ain't no reason I turn it off anyway. The rechargeable batteries I put in there, and they last a month or two, and it takes half a day to charge them. And I got a backup set to swap out in between. Same with the mouse. I went ahead and just bought a good set of set of batteries for all of them, and a backup pair. But anyway, so I peeled that off just for fun, just to see how far I could go with disassembling that. I didn't use a heat gun. If I did, I probably could have peeled that off and reused, just practicing my disassembly. But anyway, that finally is going where it needs to go on the trash. But I'm going to keep this because this is actually metal. It's a tray, and that's what I was saying about the build quality on that keyboard. I'm a little bummed out to toss it out because, it actually, was a quality piece compared to, plastic everywhere. But I did go ahead and keep some of the hinge pieces and stuff. I went ahead and I'm doing this now pretty much everything I come across at this point, if I can. Just all the screws are coming out of everything, and working on that. And that's one reason why this is taking a little while. Now I'm getting so many screws built up, I'm wanting to sort them out. Micro screws, medium screws, and then longer screws. I got this selfie stick in a big old combo pack at a yard sale. And I was hoping, oh man, maybe I can get this little clippy thing on, but the downside, man, they're both so that didn't work out. But I'm getting tripod equipment later that, I can still use this for, if I want that kind of extension selfie stick. Finally got through all my toolboxes, got all my old screwdrivers down, because I got so sick of having them all mixed up in my 2 or 3 different toolboxes, and even one in the closet that didn't, I need to get me a little bag or kit for that to put them in now that I got them all, or even just a string to tie them up, just something to keep them all together now, so I don't have to do what I did last night, trying to get them all collected together. Same with the screws. I need to find a way to divide and put these all up. I got the tablet going. It's probably powered off right now because I'm not using it, but it is what it is for a Chinese tablet with a bad Android on it. This right here was what I was using to replace that when I wasn't using my wired mouse and keyboard, or I should say, my wired keyboard that I actually borrowed from my dad's, but it was identical to this that I, again, last week picked up at the yard sale. And, again, kind of a lifesaver. I could give my dad back his keyboard before he even got home, so he didn't have to go without it, which he probably doesn't use it anyway, but that's not the point. When I picked that up at the combo, I found a wireless, cordless mouse, with the scroll buttons and everything else on it. Modern, but it's wired. So as a backup, no matter what happens, I'll always have a USB mouse and a USB keyboard set up now. So that was something cool I got taken care of at the yard sale. So this right here can now go back to being, or I shouldn't say back to, but now I can actually dedicate this to the tablet, which is another reason why I kept these hinges and pieces, because the if I kept it, I may have already thrown it away, but I try not to, because, things like that can be useful, but it connects in there, and tilts and pivots, but part of the plastic's broken, so it wobbles real bad, so if you just leave it in place, it works fine, but it can't fold. Well, who knows, maybe I can, make something out of that. I doubt it, but who cares? It takes up next to no space at this point with that stuff. So that's what I got going on with there. I've got my subwoofers all straightened out and speakers. But yeah, I've had an adventure with those too. At that yard sale a couple days ago, I picked up these. I'm going to see if I can find a way to pop that back out, and maybe even those, just for aesthetics, because I don't imagine that makes any big difference in the sound right now. But basically, I got those set up as my center channel now, and they work great. And they're actually great speakers independently too. So if I ever want to split them off and use them just as a stereo set of speakers, they really are. They've got a lot of frequency response, and I mean, this whole thing sounds like a bass cannon now with just those speakers running off of just the center channel amp, which is not supposed to be putting out heavy bass. These things are already putting them out. That's amazing. I couldn't believe how much nice and full, especially with the mid ranges, because the speakers I was using as a mid range, as a center channel, were my KLHs, which are now surround speakers like they should be. Well, I figured out one of the reasons why they were sold at the pawn shop. This speaker, that tweeter, was no good. You can even see somebody try to break it apart, try to take it apart. They didn't realize how to do it. I had to take a heat gun and take a screw and get a little thing in there and jam it out. But I got it out finally after taking the whole thing apart, wiring, checking all the wiring and everything. Finally figured out that dang tweeter, which is too bad, because that tweeter is going to be really hard to match because it's super, super, super sensitive, which I actually want on that surround sound, because it really does bring out the surround sound a lot better. And that's one reason why it's pointed way out, so that it kind of compensates for the fact that this one, I did replace it. I had a set of Yamaha speaker I'd bought a long time ago, again at a yard sale, but the tweeter, perfect size, and it was better than no tweeter at all. But it actually, in a regular speaker, it's perfect. But for that surround sound speaker, especially with the matching, for the fact that surround sound isn't really high frequency anyway, the crispness that adds, I want it over here too. I've got to find another tweeter to match up. And I really wish I would have got a video on tearing all that apart, because that was really interesting. But and if I can find me another tweeter to match or start experimenting, and I get my tripods, I will do the video on taking that big speaker or that little tiny speaker apart. But yeah, so getting that super sharp tweeter and a tweeter and everything pointed in this direction on the surround sound, with the fact that now I've got mid ranges and actual some bass response added, of course, to the little double 6-inch bandpass and my double 6-inch, rear ported, back there, and I got my Danville's running up here, which is again same outlet is hooked up to the same hookup as that. Technically the same hookup as that. They're just 100 watts, but they're not supposed to be putting out a lot of bass at all, because this speaker stereo originally came with 5 speakers like that, and one speaker 2 inches bigger than that, and and I turned it into this. And then if I really want to just up the band, especially feeling it up in my chest, I can click the roll end on, and it's pretty good full frequency, but it's not, I don't have it very loud at all. It's really just for feeling. It doesn't actually add much to the sound. It does add a little bit more to the mid bass, but again, I've been playing with the crossover on it's got like a soft, normal, powerful, super setting. I forget what the last one's called, but basically what it is like the soft will turn off some of the lower bass. The balance is pretty much clean whatever it's putting out. And the next level puts a little bit more lower bass, and then the last level puts in the most deep bass but keeps the mid bass level. Well, since I finally got that and that all in and added those and even a little bit of that, I actually have a little more deep bass than I need, so I could toss this thing back down to the normal setting from the powerful or super duper whatever. And I, again, instead of having to showed on the last video where sometimes I have to like turn the bass or the main volume down a little bit so I can turn the bass up a little bit and kind of balance it out. Well, now that I got everything in phase and everything good, that adjustment is almost not a big issue as much anymore. And once in a while, if it's something not super bassy and I want it kind of bassy, again, do the whole turn the volume up, blah, 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 turn the volume down, bass up a little. It's an interesting little setup, and like I said, bought the new replacement remote for it. I got some cooling fans for it, but I think they're too big this time. The other ones are too small. This one's too big. I'm just going to have to take that thing apart, get a damn tape measure, take a picture of it, and, you know, because I want to fix that little fan in there and get it done right. Oh, this is something else I bought at that yard sale. This is something really cool. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. USB. I'm going to probably get into flight simulators just because I got that. And of course I got my N64 controller, which, believe it or not, I've been rocking out on some Zelda Ocarina of Time for the last couple of days at the Master Quest. I actually got like to the next to last boss a couple of days, my last try a month or so ago, and I just went ahead and restarted yesterday, and like I said, I'm already basically I'm all cleaned out on all the side missions, and I'm ready to go ahead and start on the forest one with a hook shot, where you get the bow and arrow. But yeah, that's what I've got going on. There's J and K. What y'all doing today? Getting late, so I guess I'm gonna call it a quit. Oh, I might be looking into getting one of these. I'm borrowing this from my dad for a few days so I can get to the store and, you know, get me one more good heater. But I was gonna go ahead and get me another little electric one like that, because I usually rock those things out, but I might switch to one of those and work that out. Something else I got at Walmart was this little toaster oven for 20 bucks. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Like I said, I got my little double-sided meat patty or meat grill right there. That's been rocking out awesome. Been doing a Keurig with a whole bunch of Cafe Bustelo and got stocked up on that. So, you know, I got a few things going on. Oh yeah, and the keyboard. I can finally play with two hands now. Like at the same time, you know, I gotta actually record me doing it and show you all what's going on with that. But and like I said, man, getting this thing cleaned out, getting it cleaned out. Got to kind of disorganize again since I've, you know, I mean, you see, I'm getting new stuff all the time. But so yeah, to recap, you know, the selfie stick. Let's see, I got the keyboard last time I was at that sale, but there's a mouse. All these USB cables and everything up in here. I mean, I went and cleaned them out of everything that I thought I could use. I did leave a handful of the micro USB cables for other people though, but I grabbed a few, you know, good ones that I could use for other things, because I'm almost phased out of micro USB at this point. You know, I've got, you know, the little earbuds down there that are USB-C, the you know, nice quality things. Oh, here's something else. I got this sucker here. It's supposed to be 2.4, 2.4, 1, or 2, 2, 1, and 1, but it's full-wave splitter with this neat little color-changing light and this nice long cord that plugs straight into the wall. It's not, you know, it's not a brick. For like $7 at I want to say, not Winn-Dixie, Publix. Yeah, pretty awesome. I wish I'd have grabbed a few more of those if I would realize how good that thing actually turned out to be. I also been playing on the guitars, getting good at that. Finally got me some little clipboards and stuff, and been using it, trying to, you know, trying to get better with all my functionings and everything. And yeah, be moving here in about a month, figuring out where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna live in. Oh, I fixed that heater too. A little onboard fuse or something blew on that, so I soldered it, passed too. That thing there, man, made of plastic. Every time it tips over, something breaks on it, so I've probably super glued. And oh no, that was the other one that I've had to super glue and fix over and over. That one there, the heat sensor in it actually failed, and again I had to just go in there and jam it up. What else am I gonna do for now? All right, I can't think of nothing else to talk about except the fact that I gotta, like I said, figure out what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna go. But it's not that I don't have money to do it. It's just I gotta find a place to go. But I got some time. Oh, I'll be fixing the lawnmowers too, or a lawnmower. I'll be making a video on that. I got some tubes and a battery, and as far as I know, between all the lawnmowers, it's some gas. That should be all I need. And I have a riding lawnmower going again. Got the new batteries in my electrically assisted bicycle. Again, couldn't really get that on video, but I've already got a video of the last set of batteries changing out if you want to see what that's all about. I'll probably end up getting a new controller for that real soon too, because I'm having some controller trouble. And that'll do it for now. Talk to you later. I'm sure I've said that'll do it too many times. And here's the last thing I want to touch into that I've gotten into is I finally got down to the eye doctor and got my new contact lenses that I've been waiting on for half a year now because I just haven't had a chance to get down there. Fortunately, they didn't send them back. They held on to them for me, so I was able to take advantage of the money I'd put into them, which they probably would have returned, but also the insurance that paid for part of it too. You know, these are $200, $300 worth of contact lenses, you know, and I didn't pay near that much for them, so it really stunk. I'm doing something completely different now with my contact lenses. I grew up with multi-purpose solution, you know, in these little contact lens cases, but I saw this at the Dollar General the other day, and I'm sure it's not exclusive, but this deal right here, and this container, and it's got a little, I guess it's metal at the bottom or something, but it neutralizes the peroxide. You don't have to rub them, you know, for 20 seconds and rinse them out for 20 or 30 seconds and 5 seconds aside, you know, in the little case, fill the case up, put it on. That system is working so much better. It's so much more quality. It's twice as expensive, but it's so much more quality than this old system. A month that you can wear your contacts, and then you just go ahead and replace the whole setup. The new bottle will come with the new, you know, lens case because that you know, metal wears out. Oh, and I upgraded to an electric toothbrush earlier this year too. Really big improvement too. Really helps me get things done. Oh, and a new faucet's on the way because I just cannot stand that pipe up in there leaking so much like it does. And hopefully I'll have some tripod or something. I'll be able to get some video of that. So more to come. Answer the phone, Joshua.